Chapter 61. The Sanders Antique Shoppe. Plainview, Texas, Tuesday, 6:27 a.m., 1986. They materialized in motion. Bill's fingers wrapped around Jim's throat, their wet, nude bodies colliding and crashing into the side of a delicate armoire. Wrenching the fingers from his neck, Jim sidestepped Bill, grasping his wrist and swinging him into a small water cabinet, the ceramic bowl and pitcher atop it shattering on the tiled floor beneath. "It's true," Jim crowed triumphantly, announcing, "You've been chasing me this entire time, you stupid yokel." Bill rolled to his feet and drove a fist into Jim's chin, satisfied to hear Jim's jaw crack, followed by a grunt of pain as he stumbled back, tripping and falling into a pile of antique dolls. Struggling to his feet, Jim brushed at the ceramic bits and glass dusting his curled hair, ignoring various small bleeding wounds, and straightened his laurel crown. "Stop this!" young Jim shouted over the fracas from his perch atop a nearby table. "Stop at this instant!" With a cry of outrage, Jim lunged at Bill, who stepped to the side, kicking out and catching the back of Jim's knee, dropping him to the floor. Jim pulled himself up by the corner of a rickety table, accidentally grabbing a section of lace tablecloth topped with antique ceramic table settings as he did, spilling porcelain dishes to the floor in a cascade of shattered crockery. Several of the clocks lining the showroom floor began to chime, 3 distinct chimes almost in sync, filling the air around them with discordant clanging. As he gripped Jim's shoulder to fend off his attack, Bill could hear young Jim screeching to "Get the fuck away from the fucking clocks, you morons!" Boom. Whoosh. With a ripple of distant thunder, they rematerialized in the king's water closet as he sat on his commode, mouth agape. Bill and Jim appeared mid-wrestle, hours after mysteriously disappearing from the steps of the Temple of Olympus during the parade. The king jumped from his seat, appendages flying, shouting for his manserf to save him as he hastily redonned his robes. Their exhausted grunts echoed through the palace as Bill and Jim exchanged weak swats, pushing the other's chest or shoulders several times, the servants around them shouting for Prince Ampelius, who'd left the parade that morning with 2 less serfs and no real Olympic contenders, dispirited and already thinking of ways to recoup his investment with a quickie wedding to young Hypatia. The astounded prince and his entourage raced into the king's quarters, the king's manserf pointing to the unfolding spectacle as Bill and Jim wrestled from the king's toilet to his sleeping chambers, limping and sweaty, replete with bouts of labored breaths and half-assed hollow threats. Several minutes into the parkour-inspired slap fight, the sun broke from behind the clouds on the horizon, filling the room with rays of unforgiving sunlight, and thankfully, boom, whoosh, Bill and Jim disappeared from Greece once more. The king sighed rapturously, realizing he'd been granted a glimpse of the gods at play, while his manserf, a bright future playwright, was already busy composing epic passages, glorifying the battles they'd witnessed between Apollo and the son of Hermes for future generations. The king was, henceforth, afraid of the clock, watching it fearfully each time he used the bathroom. Quite relieved, actually, to find it gone a month later when he dared visit his private commode at dawn. 38 seconds later, Bill and Jim reappeared in the antique shop as young Jim bellowed for them to stop. Unable to pull back in motion, a curio cabinet and its curios crashed to the floor, the result of a poorly timed fan kick on Bill's part. "Young Jim!" Bill cried over the ruckus, slapping Jim's hands from his wrist. "Don't listen to yourself! You're making a big mistake!" "The only mistake he's made in the future," Jim panted as he and Bill circled each other, sidestepping the glass underfoot, "is trusting you!" Jim lunged at Bill, chasing him around an oak buffet. "He's lying to you!" Bill warned the younger man as Jim tackled him on a carpeted section of the floor, his nude and sweaty body slipping over Bill's like a water slide, testicles grazing Bill's chin as Jim's slick body went airborne off his shoulder, landing on a plush area rug with a robust plunk. "I've never lied," Jim consoled young Jim, pushing up to his knees with a quick nod to his younger self before standing and stretching his back. "You are going to rule the world as soon as we get these infernal Finkles out of our way for good. 2 down, 1 to go!" With a hoarse shout, Bill charged at top speed, his head barreling into Jim's chest, their moist bodies tangling in the shop's pink taffeta curtains as they crashed through the glass of the storefront to land on the strip mall sidewalk. The morning sun was just breaking over the horizon. A few early bird pedestrians were already darting briskly down the sidewalks of downtown Plainview to begin their workday. As shocked spectators gathered around, pointing and whispering, Bill and Jim delicately pulled themselves apart and climbed gingerly out of their gauzy pink taffeta cocoon of curtains to rise stiffly to their feet, panting. Picking the glass and debris from their hair and shoulders, they eyed one another skeptically, the tension finally broken by the welcome whoop of a police siren.